Okay, last one. So Karma is monster, and then we will resituate and get the teams going.
Can you give me a bottle of water? Or
Yeah.
I heart you. Yay for having a mini fridge.
Yes, pretty much. Oh, sorry. Arthur is the new trapper. I do not think that Arthur will be the new trapper, Thunder. No worry, Victory. I appreciate the thought anyway. I promise. And we've got Nemo. Aiden, look, Nemo. He's like, that's not Nemo.
That parade was really bad.
I was commenting on the team. I'm like, if my 2-year-old son isn't entertained by your measly parade, then it's a terrible parade.
Well, what was so bad is they had segments from wars. So like they had 2 things from World War II, one from Korean War, one from Vietnam War, and one from Gulf War, and then they had one for active duty members. I'm like, okay then.
Ooh, we've got a Torvald, an Abe, a Wraith. I still think Torvald, while I think that a slight buff is kind of needed, I do feel that a lot of people discredit for how well he does. Because most people are just used to spamming the mortar, and it's not. It really is supposed to be a skill shot, and there's a lot of debate about that on the forums, and it drives me bonkers when people are like, no, it needs to be back to the way it was. When it was released, it was retarded. Like, you never even had to switch your weapon, and you would outdamage everybody, and that's not how it's supposed to work. Ooh, we got a Markov. Markov's another one that I feel needs a tiniest love. He's in a good spot. I feel that people underestimate his mines once again because, again, his mines is not a solo YOLO play. That's how they used to be, and that's why everyone complained and cried like little girls when they took his mines away, because they're not designed to be used in mid-combat like that. They're designed to make a defensive perimeter, and if the monster comes after you, it takes a lot of damage for doing so. That being said, though, I would love for his lightning gun to have some sort of a buff, either a little bit better of an auto lock on, especially if the monster gets too close to you, or having it do a slightly more damage or something. But his lightning gun needs to be a little bit better, but I think Markov's in a lot better position as well. People, like I said, people don't like playing classes that you can't YOLO. And Markov is definitely one of those that requires teammates to make optimal use of his kit with. Yeah. Just you. Shut up. So here we go. So here are some mines. So now be careful with mines against the Wraith, because the Wraith can kind of willy-nilly just kind of warp through them. But at the same time, it does, by putting them out, especially when you don't have range or line of sight with the monster, is really, really strong. So here we go. Monster abducting Silver. Fantastic. I think the monster was trying to abduct Illusional, but the assault got in the way, and that was a fantastic play. So it does look like Illusional is going to get pulled back. And look at that. Oh, I thought dead almost. So that's what you need to do to prevent the abduct Warp Blast cheese, because I still think Warp Blast is ridiculously too good still for Wraith, is that once the monster uses Warp Blast, then you go and collapse on the person with low health so that somebody else gets abducted and not the intended target. So right now the Hunter's doing in a very, very bad position. All that's left is the support. Now, it is Bucket, so in theory, if support can last long enough, excellent abducts. I had a lot of problems landing my abducts the other day, and I don't know if it was from server lag or what. Very, very quick and efficient win by Karma. Very good job.
Battle 2.
And here we go, Nemo. So the best ability for this team is to Stasis Grenade and Bucket Turret a crap load an area. Avoid the decoys if they have it, and then just spread out, because Warp Blast really does a ton of damage, and it's pretty much without Warp Blast, the Wraith doesn't really do too much damage. And here we go. Nice. So the Trapper gets separated, and so right now they're taking a little bit of damage. So right now the medic really needs to get out there. Here comes the support, cloaking the medic, doing it. Oh, but the medic, I think that the medic just got shot too far away from the support, and with the medic gone, the monster is going to be able to just punish the crap out of this. And there we go. So without the medic, the monster in a very commanding position. They're not going to be able to do enough damage fast enough with this team setup, and so the monster is basically just going to be able to pick them apart. So the biggest thing is just make sure you communicate with the support, and then if you are the support, make sure you tumble after the appropriate person when they do get knocked away. Ooh, Trapper does get picked up. Trapper, let's see if he starts doing damage or starts using stasis grenades. Having stasis grenades at this point in trying to get Bucket to stay alive is actually pretty strong. And it does look like that the monster is going to try and go after. Nope, does not. Bucket gets up, and it does look like that he is going to go and get the assault pretty soon. Right now, it's not a lot of damage being done, mostly just Bucket turrets and Markov at this point. And there is the support. Support trying to res the Trapper. Oh, and fantastic. Karma's got a great abduction ratio. I think he's got very good accuracy with it. And there goes Bucket. So now then all that's left is the assault. Monster taking a little bit of damage. Once again, the Mammoth Bird decides to try and protect Shear. So Assault about to go down. Trapper doing a little bit of work with the stasis grenades, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to stay away. And it looks like that the monster might try and eat the body behind. Nope. And stasis grenades are really strong against Wraith, just because it relies a lot on moving, especially when it's in Supernova and things like that. So it does not look like it's going to be able to get him up in time, but good attempt by the hunters.
Monster wins.
GG. So that one just kind of falls under the category of just general Wraith tactics. Basically, you want to spread out so that the Warp Blast doesn't hit you. But once the Warp Blast is used, all you want to do is you want to dogpile the person who has low health, namely the support or medic, so that they get that. Then you get abducted, and the damage is spread out instead of just one person being focused. The biggest thing about Wraith is just interrupting the abduct, hit, Warp Blast, hit combo any way you can. And the easiest way is to wait for the Warp Blast to go off and then dogpile the person with low health so that somebody else gets abducted, and then you spread back out again. It kind of reminds me of old MMO fights where you all collapse to one target to absorb a lot of damage, and then you spread back out because the damage gets AoE once again or something like that. So just be careful. Also, I'd probably hide in Bucket's turret nest a little bit more. You did have Abe. You had like 3 people that had deployables, and so I think that if there was nothing but stasis, mines, and Bucket turrets, it would have been a lot more punishing for the monster to try and grab people. And then you just kind of collapse back to that location, so you had like a central command center, so that if someone does get abducted, they know where to come back instead of having the fight move away from those turrets, and then Bucket can't do much damage. But really good job with your abductions, Karma. I don't think you missed any of them. The other day I was playing Wraith, and I seemed to get I was like 50%, and for some reason I don't know why, but like I don't know. Have you ever had that, Karma? Like some days it just seems like a lot of your abducts are just not hitting or connecting for some reason, even though they take damage or you hit them on your screen.
Occasionally, but most of the time it's because there's a tree or an animal or some nothingness in the way that takes the hit.
Because I was on weather control, and for some reason it just my ducks would they'd literally be point blank and I wouldn't hit them. It was really weird, but I think it might.
Weather control is the one with the cave at the bottom and the beach, right?
Yes.
I have found that is a map where that kind of stuff happens a lot. I think that there used to be trees because they changed the maps, and I think what happened is there were trees or objects that they got rid of, but the hitbox remains. So you'll hit those, and that's my theory anyway, because I've noticed it on that and Dam, which they also changed the layout of.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
But really good job, really good precision. You know, you focus on somebody, Karma, you get them down, and then you just go from one target to the next. So really well done. So we're going to go ahead back out to chat. I'm going to see who else is there. I'm going to send out a few more invites because I think a few more people missed my invite before, and then we'll get the next set, and we'll probably start doing some hunt games. So let's dogpile back. Thanks for the games, everyone, and let's head back to chat.
No problem.